We are going to present our research and results. The topic of our study is individual learning pathway validation based on the syllabus. The authors are Anton Govorov, Anastasiia Chernysheva, Maksim Khlopotov, Svetlana Derkunskaia, and Anna Arzumanian. A number of modern technological initiatives in the field of education have led to the desire of making educational process personalized on a mass scale. Plenty of ways to implement personalized learning in educational process has been described, encompassing a wide range of opportunities for students. Researchers claim that individual learning pathway can help in effective organization of training, enriching the educational process, carrying out professional activities. Our goal was to develop a software service for building and validating the students' learning pathway between academic disciplines. To achieve this goal, the following objectives need to be met. Analyze the educational standard and standard templates of syllabus. Develop an approach for forming and marking a graph of keywords used for linking academic disciplines. Create an algorithm for validating the learning pathway. Our research focuses on individual learning pathways development for Russian students. Individual learning pathways development within the educational programs in Russian universities impose restrictions on the students' individual learning pathways development. Software service for building and checking individual learning pathway between academic courses can lead to changing technologies and teaching methods and would help students avoiding mistakes in the individual learning pathway building. The way we propose is based on an approach for analyzing a subject area by its keywords graph. We use methods of two-layer graph model for building individual learning pathway. On the first layer, there are curriculum courses. On the second one, there are keywords extracted from section titles and topics within the academic courses. Relations between keywords define relations between courses, thus allowing one to build learning pathways that are consistent within a curriculum. The proposed model is depicted in Figure 1. This part of the study is focused on educational entities and relations between them. Besides keywords, educational process is described by a significant number of educational entities. Figure 2 represents educational entities classification. Unstructured educational entities represent conceptual basis of the curricular components. Subject areas, subject area keywords. Structured educational entities are powered by curriculum's hierarchy, contents, and requirements. They are syllabus keywords, educational programs represented by the curriculum, and individual learning pathways. There are three types of relations we distinguish between keywords: hierarchy, results, identity. The example in the Figure 4 shows a correctly built educational pathway, successive studies of courses from a mathematical unit, while in the Figure 5 we can observe an incorrect decision-making when a student decides that for the introduction to web programming it will be enough to go through mathematics and logic and theory of computing, and informatics as its syllabus as well as programming contains, the basics of programming is given. A student can create such a pathway that will lead to the excessively heavy study load. Also, a student will not be able to look into all prerequisites for each course and build the correct learning pathway. To master the educational program, the student must gain all the competences from the curriculum. Syllabuses in the student's individual learning pathway should cover all the educational program competences. To solve these problems, an algorithm for student-created individual learning pathway validation was developed. The example here shows how the algorithm works. To describe the course syllabus, the structure of educational standards and syllabus templates adopted at my university was analyzed. Then, a model for the syllabus description by the means of IDF0 notation was implemented. Finally, a data model to store data about syllabus was developed. The example shows syllabus list interface for different groups of users. In terms of this interface, a student has an opportunity to add courses to his learning pathway, and tutor can look through the academic courses and adjust course settings. Now we are going to summarize our results and talk about future work. We developed and tested our service and then described it in our paper. The following information system interfaces were implemented. Subject area settings interface for creating, deleting, and editing keywords entities, interface for setting up relationships between keywords entities, interface for creating and editing syllabus, interface to view student compiled pathway with each course syllabus, interface to view student created learning pathway validation results. The developed service is a tool for experts to create and verify connections between academic course and subject areas keywords. The developed information system within the proposed approach would help students avoiding mistakes in the individual learning pathway building.